Hello, everyone. It's that time of, I'd say the time of the month, but we've been fairly irregular and erratic with our schedule lately. But it's that time again, Feedback and Friends, where we get your works in progress, your awesome musical ideas, and we dissect them, hopefully to help each other all improve. And you guys certainly inspire me and make me a better producer. So it's definitely a bit of a two-way conversation with that one. Tonight, I am joined by, as usual, the wonderful ill-esha. I'm hoping to go visit her at some point very soon in Denmark, so that should be interesting. Expect at least one feedback stream while I am there because the banter is definitely good when we're in the same room. And we also have our special guest here, Sunesis, who is from Barcelona in Spain. Are you still living, like staying there? Is that where you're actually based right now?
Yes, exactly, Barcelona. I've been living here for 7 years already.
So you
Amazing.
definitely know the
Tell
city
us a little
inside and out.
bit about
Yeah.
yourself.
Okay, so I was born in Argentina. I decided to move out to Spain and I tried my solo career as an artist here as Sunesis. And I usually say that I do music for space stations. That's what I like to do.
It's definitely a good tagline. That's for sure. Music for space stations. And I like a lot of your spacey music as well. There's one of your recent ones, Galaxy Empress, has just got such lush chords and bass and stuff. Also, as a guest, feel free to link me something and I can play it as we get on for the stream. We'll get through a couple submissions first, and then and also feel free to link your socials in the chat so that people can check out
Thank
what you're up
you.
to.
Yeah,
Before we
I've
get
also told my friends from Spain to submit, so you'll see some good submissions.
Please do. And I
Spain.
think we still have room in the queue, right? So we should encourage people now to get your tunes in. And you know how we work. We all give feedback. We like to really listen. We like to hang out. We like to tell silly stories. I know it's been a long time since we did plug-in of the week. And, for me, it's just want to say this is my last Feedback and Friends before I move into my new house where I will have a studio again and I can do all kinds of cool stuff and help Nathaniel out and do visuals and be way more present. I've been in a suitcase for like 5 months. Not in a suitcase, out of a suitcase. Yeah, being in a suitcase would suck as
You're
well.
like a snail. You carry it on your back.
Yeah, well, so that's this. I'm just telling you, the summer will be super, super cool and excited to have Sunesis here. What's our first track tonight, Natty?
Tonight we have Citros Second Time, and their comment is mastering and sound design suggestions, please and thank you. So let's go. Second Time by Citros. volume down a little bit, as we're definitely not going to be able to listen to all of the 9 minutes of this track because it's a long track.
9 minutes?
9 minutes. It keeps going.
9 minutes? Oh my. No.
Yeah, I feel like that might be a bit much. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, what does our guest think?
Sunesis, let's go.
I think it's sounding good. I like the structure of it. I would like some variations in the bass probably along the track, but I think it has some good elements that could be really nice to bring up and to give space to these different elements, as long as not to make it all like all together at the same moment.
Yeah, I agree. It's a little bit like just gets monotonous after a while because it's like everything is just carrying throughout. So I think I totally agree with what you say. Needing a little space, needing a little variation of dynamics too. Like just have more parts with just the synths and do some edits and just evolve it, or like just give us a moment to miss the other parts so that when they come back in, you get excited again. Because right now it's still going, like you gotta just have also, is it too early in the show, Natty, to say ear candy?
It's never too early in the show to say ear candy.
Oh, Natty, I don't think you got Sunesis into mono.
Yeah, something's wrong with my voice meter right now. I'm not sure entirely why. It's just not letting me force mono, which is annoying.
Well, anyways, Beitu in the chat just says there are wrong melodies. I don't know if they're like totally wrong, but I don't think that certain notes are the best choices, maybe. So like, and also some of the detuning, I think, from the bass, and then the really tuned long reverb elements in the pads, those are kind of bleeding together. So I would say check the tails of your reverb too, and maybe consider like doing some side chaining or like that, balancing some elements, because I think you're hearing the long note reverbs bleeding into each other, and it kind of creates these points. So I would say look into that. Natty?
Yeah, it's also like, if you want to be semi-atonal, it doesn't really work when you've got really melodic elements. Like, you kind of have to choose one or the other. You can't be both. And that doesn't mean you can't do it in the same track. It's just you got to then consider how it's paced and, like, here, why is there a key change? Like, it doesn't... Like, that's a melodic device, not an atonal one, to have a key change. At least when it's like that, you gotta decide what your priorities are and then pace the track accordingly. It's not that it's a terrible idea, it's just how you express it. It's difficult. There's no wonder it's 9 minutes.
Yeah, I don't think we have to play all 9 minutes of it. I think we can give some of that time to other people that are here. So I would just like put the whole thing like one quarter, one half as long at least, maybe more. Just or if you're gonna make it this long, really just evolve it. Evolve.
Next up we have Jadders with Drew Unite. Their comment here is, does the second part of the track work? I kinda need some mixing suggestions as well. Hope you enjoy the tracks. Oh, I've got to turn back up. There we go.
Oh my, what? What? I loved that. I freaking loved that. I thought that was so cool and it was experimental and I really liked the way you designed your little percussion. It was just felt very tasty in my ears, you know. I was just sitting there enjoying it wash over me. My only thing would I would say is in those piano parts, it would be really cool if you had like some interesting foley coming in and out, or like maybe just a tiny like I like the noise you have in there over the piano, but just a little bit more filling it out because the rest of it is so sick. Just tiny things. It doesn't have to be a lot, but this is nitpicking because I think it's really cool. What did you think, Sunesis?
I agree. I completely agree. In fact, I was just thinking about the piano parts, working more maybe on the mix and working on where to locate the low frequencies mostly. But I loved the rest of the track. I think it has to be a little bit more balance between those parts and the after the intro, let's say. It's very good.
I think for me the arrangement is spot on. It's just a little bit of high end that like it's missing. I don't know. It just felt like it needed a bit of air.
Yeah, I could agree with that. That's kind of what I meant, I think, with those like textures. Like I almost wanted to just hear more high end in general, but air is good. Fresh Air by Slate Digital. That's a really good free plugin to add that kind of stuff. I know a lot of my mixing students would always love that one. Have you ever used that, Natty?
I've actually never used it. I should download it and try it out. It's
It's
basically
free.
yeah, it's an exciter plugin of some sort, right?
Yeah, basically, it's just a harmonic. Like it just gives it air. What do you want to know? Amazing, cool.
So
What's next?
we should get to Sunny Skies next. There's a couple of people who've submitted. I haven't seen them in the chat at all yet. So if you're out there, the last Concord, and watching, please let me know. There's also this one here, Music Oblique. They're in for a new submitter. If you're watching, love to let you see that you're there. We're prioritizing people who are here first. So Sunny Skies here. The vocals are first take. It's a work in progress, obviously. They wanted to make a garage band. I don't know what that means.
Well, it's a program for Mac, and it's also like a thing that you start with your friends,
Yeah.
and your parents yell at you for playing too loud. What else? It could be a lot of things.
There's a theme in the lyrics showcasing about how he's moved out from home and he's getting old fogey, I guess. um, there's apparently a drop
Okay.
somewhere in there as well. So it's not a Sunny submission. It's not a paragraph of text. Yeah, I'm just not going to read all of it. I summarize Cliff Notes.
Well,
Garage band
thank you
by
for
Sunny
warning us
Skies.
about the drop. Thank you for warning us. I will be sure to ask where it is.
It's even working. That's a weird bit of silence at the beginning.
Life, a game you play is not for the faint. You've got to stand and take the stage. Take the stage. Life, it's a picture only you can paint. Be the one to turn the page. Turn the page. I don't wanna be the one to fall, the one to jump and lose it all. Lose it all.
the right buttons. Way!
I found it.
So that was. I'm not sure I hear the whole making a garage band. You know, like if it was. It doesn't sound like what you want it to be in that regard, and I can't. I don't know. I often associate people making bands in their garage with like guitars and stuff. You know.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they were talking about, but it's cool. What do you think of the track, Natty?
Oh, I think Sunesis has got some thoughts, so I'll let you go first, and then.
Oh. No, I think it has some really interesting elements. I don't know, maybe it was a personal choice for the vocals to be probably more like dry instead of having some reverb or short reverb. I personally felt that it lacked some reverb on vocals mostly. And what else? Yeah, the drop. Well, it's a matter of working more on having it more on time and more in accordance to the other part of the song. But it's a good idea.
I think I want to hear Sonny lean more into his choir singing style rather than this sort of spoken wordy aesthetic.
Maybe that's the garage band aspect that he was talking about, that kind of just raw thing, which is like, I like...
I'm so indie that I don't need to sing properly kind of aesthetic, which...
Oh, that was some shade! I think we all agree that the vocals just need more processing. Like, you can give the illusion that they're dry because you can make them mostly dry, but you do have to like sing them a lot, like the thing is a lot of the time I will record a vocal like that. I know it's a whip, and then just like sing it every day, like put it on and like mess with it, and then by like day 7 or something, you will be singing so well and you will know it. Because I think a thing that happens to me when I write vocal songs is I get excited to get into record them. I'm recording them, but half the time I'm having to look at the lyrics because I don't completely remember them all yet, and that can also compromise it. So I think like I would just advise you to just spend some time with this song and just get super deep into it and just sing your heart out, and then do another take. And then after that, a good vocal done like that, it doesn't even need that much processing. You can just do some compression and EQ and you're good, So just, I would work on singing it like over and over again until you get those perfect takes. And then it's okay if you want to keep it like kind of dry and minimal. It just has to be really good and really like full on. And, I think your timing will get better as you know it better as well.
It's also just don't be afraid to throw out your vocal melody. Like, if you can think of don't think this is the best version of that melody that you can come up with. If you can come up with a better one that with a more dynamic range, I think, because you're sticking very in octave, when I know for a fact you're capable of 2 or 3 octaves if you push yourself. So
yeah, absolutely. I would also say I was missing some percussion in general. Like, I like the minimal kick and snare and synth parts, but I think that they should evolve into like even just tiny little bits of percussion, because that would also give some crisp contrast and texture. So I would maybe play around with that. Like, there was one part in the beginning where I was almost hearing some rides. My ear kind of just wanted something really sizzly. Even like sucking backwards into the snare type of vibe. I don't know. I'm just freestyling here. Oh, Natty, should we have another freestyle battle soon?
If you want.
Oh, next up is Beytu. So I'm stoked to hear this. Beytu is a producer from Turkey. I'm a big fan.
They wowed us with their submission.
All right, well, what's up with them today?
There's been no specific request for feedback, so anything goes. This is Where Are You Now? Prepare to have your mind blown. So, how many shots did you take through that track, Isha?
Oh, bro, I took a ginger shot and I'm chasing it with some elderflower kombucha.
Living
Hard.
hard, living hard. Sunesis, were you drinking any shots to that either?
Wow, I would love to have something of that. Yeah, I only have some water, but yeah, I loved it. I really love this drug. It's not. I don't think I have anything bad to say. I mean, I really liked it. It's groovy. It's intense. It's surprising. So great.
Yeah, I mean, it was really tight. It was not what I expected. I think maybe that there could be a few moments to just get the transitions a little bit more tight. Like I just like the first part didn't completely, like when the drop came in, it surprised me, which is cool. But I wouldn't have mind having it be teased a little bit more, just to give me like a half idea. I don't know. This is nitpicking again because I loved it too. What about you, Natty?
Yeah, I think it was just around this mark. Whatever time it is. The minute session in before you get to like the next breakdown, it's like that's where you start teasing what's coming up next a little bit more. Because you've been so fun with the creative your effects all the way up to that point, and then you just sort of settle into the groove. Like
Nice.
what
is up?
Well, it's Streamlabels should be refreshed. It like should be working.
Yeah. Well, did somebody donate to us? I should just watch
Yeah, I
the
can see Rags
Streamlabs.
up there.
Nice. Rags always are.
Followed. And Chris donated as well, so there's Goose Weed. I see your donation. Thank you for your donation.
Thank you, everyone. You guys keep us going. Basically. So
I enjoyed it too. I think it's got that club aesthetic that there are a lot of people who would just play this in their car and just drive down the road with it on and go like, just like, because it's got a lot of nice bass quality. I think that makes everything go.
Uh-oh, Natty's gonna start beatboxing.
No. It sounds like it's just another. Well, I wish I had acquired millions. I'm definitely not that rich. I don't know about you, Sunesis. I'm not that rich. Oh no, we got an advert! Alright, so let's try and get to this advert. I hope it's only just one, otherwise I'll be annoyed.
So who are we playing next? We just got a bunch of donations, right?
Yeah,
who's
like,
first?
Well, next up we got Bacco, then Chris, then Rags, and...
What?
Rags, Errata posted one as well, and... Juice Weed. Did you submit something, Juice Weed? I need to see if I can.
Well, play Rags. We know Rags is our homie day one. He has supported us for a long time. Play Rags. Play Rags. Play Rags.
There we go.
Play
Well, we got
Rags.
Bacco here first.
Oh, you have to read the message. You know how. Oh, we have Bacco. Okay, play Bacco. Play Bacco. Then play Rags. Yes. Okay. Let's do this.
Alright, so we got The Absence by Bacco Babiza. This is apparently a whip, like all of them. I gotta turn it back up.
So always right.
So, no, don't all play. I don't know what that is. So I'm gonna hand this over to Sunesis. What are your thoughts on this early whip?
I think it's a very good idea. I think it needs a tiny bit of work on the kick, the snare. I felt the kick was being lost with the bass. The bass is quite broad. I think they are competing. The frequencies are competing. The snare was quite like low or even far away. I would bring it up. I would raise the highs on the snare or even play more with the sound of it. As the bass, to me, it was like a bit of all over the place. It was also like crushing with all those high frequency layers of like leads and pads, synth pads and such. So I would mostly work on the mix, but it's a really good idea in general.
Isha.
Yeah, I think for me as well, I agree with everything, but also just the groove in general, like the way that the drums are programmed and then the way the bass line is and the vocals, it felt like at certain times they kind of weren't sitting in the same groove space. And that's the thing, like you really have to just mind just like that pocket that you're in, and you can't have like, you can have things off the grid and kind of like a bit loose, but you can't have them in like different directions. And I just felt like there was just a very slight kind of loss of groove between all these parts. So I would really look at that, and maybe like it has something to do with, I don't know, I can't put my finger on it, but there's just moments where it seems like a bunch of separate stems being played together instead of like one cohesive song that was made in the same groove space, you know? Natty, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I might even benefit from taking those bits out and then playing them back in, like manually. Because you can use drum, like load up the bits you want into a drum machine plugin, and then just bloop 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 bloop, and then sort of see how it feels, and then tweak the original accordingly to sort of feel, you know, like use the vocals and the bass is kind of your core bit, and then just play around those, because then you're letting your ear actually sort of guide you. And yeah, we've had a lot of submissions tonight. C Fusion, sorry. The way it be sometimes. If we have time at the end, then we'll reopen it for you.
Well, let's move.
Yeah, we
Let's
got Rags
moving.
up next. I want me to read his comment.
Rags.
Okay, so
must
let's
read
get
it.
this out of the way first. It's just an idea reference track. As you will remember, I am the farthest thing from a vocalist, so this may be painful. Anyway, I know the mix is trash, just looking for feedback on the vibe and composition. So this is Moon Cruiser Whip 5 by Rags, aka Kalina.
Turn it up.
overall vibe is cool. But I don't know. It's like you say you're sucky at singing, but it sounds like insecurity more than anything else. Isha, what do you think about the vocals in particular?
I'm just laughing. I was literally about to type this in the chat. What M. Cardona said basically took the words out of my mouth. It was like the lower voice sounded like Linkin Park. And I was gonna say, I think you should like lean into that Linkin Park shit more, you know? Like the drums are kind of like very repetitive and boxy, so I think that they don't do the justice. I think the vocals, yeah, like Natty said, you're just burying them because you're insecure about them, but they're actually like kind of the best part. And you could even like, it is a classic somebody who doesn't like their own voice, you drown it in like reverb and then you put it way underneath the mix. But actually I really wanted to hear it, and you're dope, and like you rap really well and you're singing. Like you can use effects, but don't be afraid to put that out front and then just go like more like moody, like put in that like moody Linkin Park guitar and just go with it, you know? Like I think it would, I don't know. Sunesis, what do you think?
I liked it. I like the vibe of it. I will really listen to more of your stuff. I think you should hide your vocals with the rap layer and with the guitar layer at the same time. Like during the last part of the song, you were putting all together. I think you could find places for every layer and really bring them up. Give some spotlight. Yeah, I encourage you to do that.
How did you personally get over the insecurity phase with your own singing? Because I know you do vocals on your own tracks too.
Yeah, that's crazy because I thought of my vocals mostly as a pad in general. I used to use them just as a pad. But then I guess I tried really believing that I could sing, that I had a nice color of voice and that people would like it. So I also go to singing classes, and that also reinforces the idea that I could do it. So yeah, that's a nice thing.
Good idea. Yeah, going for classes, no matter how, like, you know, I don't know. I was really stubborn and I was always like, oh, my natural voice, like I was in choir, but then I started touring, and later on I was like, you know what? My throat hurts after every show. Like I'm not breathing properly. It's just like a muscle. You got to work it out. So going to singing classes is so helpful because mostly just teaching you how to breathe, you know, and like teaching you how to work out your muscles so that you can do it and you can feel more comfortable. And I'm a much better vocalist now than I was before I learned how to breathe properly. So I think, yeah, just taking some classes is a great idea to me feel more confident. Natty, have you taken lessons ever?
Not since school. It's a long time ago now. It's probably something that I would need to do, to be honest, at this point. But I'd have to try a few different teachers because like you have to get the right one for you as well. That's a thing that's definitely a factor. It's also like if you have bad vocal experience like with a teacher first time, then maybe they're just not the right teacher for you, and it's not that you suck at singing or that singing lessons are a bad thing. It's kind of like therapy, isn't it? You need the right therapist. You need the right vocal coach.
Nice. Well, let's keep moving. We have a lot of awesome donators in the house. Thank you, Disketto, for just donating. That's amazing. You'll be up after Juice Weed. So we got Chris next, right? I'm excited to hear what Chris has been doing. Chris never disappoints.
The comment is this too down the middle, or do I need to work the stereo field more? Does it need vocals? Does the cheesy neon synth that comes in halfway, is it too cheesy? Alex on Acid by Chris the Wizard. Well, it's fairly short and sweet, that one. I would say something about the whole, like, you know, I'd say the whole track's sort of cheesy a little bit, but it means that lead doesn't really stand out as being particularly cheesy by itself. But I'm going to hand it over to Sunesis. What do you think? Cheesy or not cheesy enough, or what?
I mean, I think it's with intention. It's telling a story. It's part of the type of dark synth, the type of Carpenter Brut thing, no, to tell a story. So I don't think it's cheesy. Well, to me, it sounds 80s. Could be that part being cheesy, but I think it's quite cool. I only found it a tiny bit repetitive. Like there are not many changes in progressions and such, but I think it's also the idea of the track, you know, like just to continue going and to give you that power to go on. That's it.
Yeah, it's like an 80s workout track or something. Yeah, I mean, I am not the person to ask if something is too cheesy, because I would just like to point out that I play a guitar live, so I definitely am not qualified to draw the cheese line anywhere myself. But you know, like, I love that synth. I like the glides. Some of the glides that you had on them were really fun. It was like a twangy guitar and a glorious, like, half Blade Runner. It was cool. I really liked it. So again, I'm not the one to ask about cheesiness, but I agree it could have used a little bit more changing up. But at the same time, yeah, if I were like running just in slow motion with my like 80s shorts on, I could definitely just go with that, you know?
I got Rags here saying not cheesy. The sounds had purpose and intent, overall perception. Envato search page 1, search query 80s retro synthwave neon. I don't know what Envato is.
Envato is what we used to get all the stock footage and stuff. It was like the subscription-based media site.
Well,
I love you, Rex. You're fantastic.
So, yeah, I think I would love to have proper climax to this track. Something that is like really like, you need to turn the epic up to 11.
That comment was an 11, Natty.
And I think that would elevate from being really just sort of cool to being awesome. Maybe more, if you can get some more like actual guitar in and do some shredding, that would be interesting.
Oh my god, like finger tapping.
Exactly. Could be fun.
Yes.
Next up, we have Juice Weed.
Juice Weed, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't leave a comment to what feedback, so anything goes. There's no limits. Juice Weed, aka Alve? I don't know. I'm sorry, I butcher everyone's names.
Yeah.
fire. You are just in like that, like head bobbing, Carmack, Troy Boy slash Saturate Records, like all the spaces that I like. So I'm super down with that. I would play that for sure. That's all I got to say. Sunesis, what'd you think?
I love it. It's funk done well. So I really like that. I don't know if it's a house funk. I know that funk has like different. There are different type of funk. This
are?
I think is house. Yeah, you have drift. You have house. You have night funk even, and there are many more. Yeah.
Well, that's learning from me because I had no idea. Everything it just gets. You know those memes where it's like normally see a genre as just one thing, and then the person who loves the genre is like massive list of subcategories, and I guess I'm just not familiar enough with funk because
It's not easy to give a like a production feedback. Honestly, I think it's just how it should be with that distortion. Yeah.
Yo, I feel like I've just been like locked in a time capsule. I've only been like kind of out of the scene for like 8 month break, and this Citrus, I just didn't understand a word. It's drift funk, I think, mixed with Memphis style. I'm like, I don't speak this language anymore. So go away for half a year, and there's like all these new genres.
we should
Yeah,
stop them inventing new genres. We should just ban it as a practice.
that was sick though. Or whatever it was, whatever it was, I really liked it.
It was fun. Next up, we have Arata, who didn't like subscribe to us on Twitch. Thank you very much for that. Burp, burp, burp. I got you already loaded up, so why am I clicking things? This is No Limit by Arata. They only no specific feedback, so I guess whatever we've got. very cyberpunk, gritty, angry city vibes. I don't know about
Love
you
it.
guys.
Love it. I'm so with it.
Are we all just
Yeah,
really angry
it's
at the universe tonight? Is that what it is?
yeah, but it's super powerful, and it has like a combination of elements that they work very well along. They are super well produced. So yeah, good job.
Yeah, that was cool. That was kind of like what I was thinking about Rags's track. I was like lean into that like raging growl. Like that did it really well. And yeah, it was really well produced. I could hear everything super clear and nicely mixed and really like, kind of an original take on the style too.
And it had a
Very
good
cool.
sense of depth. I think that's something that's really hard to do with this sound. Like you hear a
Yeah.
lot of, even like when I try to make it, it's like you crank up the bass and distortion and stuff, and suddenly you sound like you're actually just in a little box, not actually sitting there with a stage full of space to work with. And it's a pain in the ass to mix, so you nailed it. It's really impressive.
Very nice, very nice. Good tracks today. I mean, as always, good quality. Love you all. What's next?
Next up, we have a Tech House ID by Lucas Goss, who I saw in the chat earlier in the Discord, so they are online now. Tech House ID. They just asked if the mix is okay, so mixing ears on, guys.
I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm wasted and I'm high. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm wasted and I'm high. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm wasted and I'm high. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm wasted and I'm high.
Yo, 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 that was definitely party music. Really, really fun, and it surprised me. Like at first I was like, oh, it's cute, and then when it like dropped again and it had a little bit more syncopation, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that was really good. Mix was sitting nice for me. Yeah, it was retro. It did, a tree said it reminded me of a gay club in the '90s. I got that vibe at the beginning too, which is definitely a good thing. I love that. Yeah, Sunesis.
I loved it. I mean, I agree with you. I just feel that I'm not qualified to talk about this because it's super well produced. It's great quality. I loved it.
I would playlist this, and I don't listen to a lot of tech house. Like it's not always my vibe, but this is such a good energy that, yeah, I would put this in my listening. It's I would call it done. I don't like, maybe what you would do for the DJ is you do a extended intro thing, say like that. But like as far as your single version, this is it.
Oh, Tree is just saying I'd play it out and I'm super fussy. She is. If she says that, that is like the highest level compliment. If, yeah, wow. Fire.
Yes. So good job. Yeah, no extra comments. It sounded great. We got Sunesis. Unfortunately, can't stay on for the whole stream. But we got a couple more songs with her. We're gonna play Oblique, who showed up in the chat there next, and then the last Concord, who is a fellow Synth fan member, and then we'll be saying goodbye to Sunesis. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. It's been a pleasure. And I think I did
Thank
link
you.
your music on there, but I think when you tried it, it censored you. I don't know. But I will try paste that in the chat again. That's
I showed
music.
the Spotify, yeah.
There's a sound. I shared a SoundCloud link. I guess it doesn't
Thank
really
you.
matter which way, but please go. Everyone, once the stream is over, go check out Sunesis' work. She's got some really lovely space music. I think everyone in the scene calls it space synth these days, don't they?
Yeah, space themes, space wave. There's a discussion there, like what's what. But yeah, spacey stuff, let's call it.
Yeah.
Amazing. Cool.
Oh, this is
That's nice.
Bandcamp link. I have no idea if this will work, but oh, they're from Barcelona as well.
Ooh.
Yeah, Oblique. They are super famous here. They usually play synth pop, and they've been playing for years. I'm really happy that they submitted a song.
Well, wonderful. Can't wait to hear it.
I'm very curious. This is Data Love by Oblique.
Looking at your screen and I just fell in love with you that night. How crazy! Ooh, ooh, yeah. Ooh, it's crazy. Talk to me with your robot voice. I don't know why I like that noise, so honey. You drive me crazy. My computer love, technological, it's so illogical. My computer love, it's fanatical, it's so magical. Wanna away from you, I can remind you by closing my eyes, yeah, baby. Ooh, ooh, yeah, call me maybe. Futurized, hypnotized. This just came as a surprise. I need you by my side. My computer love, technological, it's so illogical. My computer love, it's fanatical, it's so magical. My computer love, my computer love, my computer love, technological, it's so illogical. My computer love, it's fanatical, it's so magical. My computer love, technological, it's so illogical. My computer love, it's fanatical, it's so magical.
That was very pretty. Although I like I was laughing there, but it's just because of the line about my computer being confusing. One of my friends that's just his entire thing with computers. Like he doesn't understand what they're doing or why they're doing what they're doing. And I just couldn't help but think of him for the entire time. Every time that came up, it was like. So me giggling away there, it's not a bad thing by any means, but there's some context with that. Isha, I'm going to hand it over to you. I guess that they didn't ask for anything specific first, so any thoughts there?
I mean, it was a lot of fun. I thought like the vocals could have been either like up a little bit or something, but other than that, you know, it was a cool song. It was a cool vibe. I really like all this like cyberpunk vibe of tonight, so I would enjoy seeing that live too.
That would definitely be interesting. Do you know anything about their live setup? Sunesis?
Yeah, they. Well, it's a duo, so they work with some analog synth and some controllers as well, and they mix as well during the show. Yeah, and I already told them, because I'm biased right now because I know them and they are my friends, but that the production of this song is pretty well done, and I'm super happy how it's sounding. So yeah, congratulations, amigos.
Yay! And I thought that lyrically it was actually quite well done as well. Like, there's actually well paced in when the vocals coming in and when the synths had their moment. And I think in terms of their arrangement, it was solid and fun. So thank you for your submission, Oblique. Send us more stuff in the future, especially whippy stuff. We like whips. Lots of whips. Next up, we have The Last Concord. I ended up running this through Google Translate because my Spanish is not amazing, but it's a fourth single from an upcoming album on Aztec Records called Flashback. It's a collaboration with the British band The Lightning Kids, and it's coming out in the summer. This is I don't know what the name of the song is. Let's find out. Sorry. Can't paste anymore. Oh, that's the wrong link. Where is... It's a SoundCloud link. So this is Back to You, instrumental... Oh, we got another... Don't tell me we got another advert. All right, we'll get to this advert. While this advert's going on, this is the last song for you to hang out with us, Sunesis. So would you like to tell us anything newsworthy for yourself?
First of all, I want to thank you because I'm having a lot of fun, and I want to be part of your show next time for another next time. I don't know when, but it's really nice to be able to listen to other people producing different styles, and well, to listen to other ideas. So it's always inspiring as well, to get out of your bubble and to learn from others. So ill-esha, is wonderful to meet you, and I love what you're doing and your music. And I wish sometime to learn to go to any of your classes, for example. I would like.
Oh, let's do some shows. Let's do some stuff. I'm around Europe now.
Yeah,
Not
and
far away anymore.
No, that's true. And this year, well, you are both invited. We're going to have Ona Electrónica in September here in Barcelona. It's actually in Badalona, which is quite close to Barcelona. And it's a synthwave, cyberpunk, dark synth show. So you're all invited. And I'll play there as well.
You'll have to send me a link if they've got like flyers and stuff up already for it.
Yeah,
that sounds
we
interesting.
will. Thank you. And the organizers are also The Last Concord that are playing now.
Oh, nice. Really cool.
Multi-talented organizational peoples, isn't it? I could never pull off a festival. It feels like so much paperwork.
It is not. It's fine.
This is Back to You, Instrumental Club remix by The Last Concord. And thanks again, Sunesis, for joining us. We'll get your thoughts on this track, and then we'll say goodbye. But back to you. I'm going to start. I'm going to start by handing it back to Sunesis. So your thoughts.
Sorry, I was muted. I think it's as somebody said on the chat, it's super 80s, and they really managed to get that vibe. And if somebody could think that it's about to get ready to go for a prom, that's wonderful. I think that's the whole plan. Personally, I would suggest not to use the "back to you" phrase all along the song. I think that some other element could be replaced and then bring the "back to you" again for a better impact of that phrase. And that's it.
Isha, any additional comments?
I thought the outro was pretty long. Like then in general, like it was really cool, and then it just kept going and going and going and going. And I just think like either you got to make a little bit more variation in the outro, like make parts come out faster, or just make it shorter. Either one works. But I really liked the song. It was super nice, floaty vibes, and yeah, I'm enjoying this synthwave journey we are on, for sure.
I think for me, like it's meant to be an instrumental club mix, but the minute you add vocals of any sort, you kind of muddy that water between instrumental and just the song. It might have had more impact of sounding like an instrumental if you'd actually processed the vocals more, turn them more into their own instrument, perhaps. Which I know isn't super 80s as such, but they had vocals and stuff back then. So like, there was some tools that you could leverage to get still in that space, but with this isn't a vocal track anymore, it's an instrumental. And I kind of agree about the length of the outro. Definitely a little bit of trimming the fat possibly to make it a little bit more impactful. Because I think it's another tricky thing as well. If there's a vocal mix of this, then it's like, how far do you want to go between its own instrumental version or a karaoke compatible version? That's kind of like the internal debate that I often have when I'm discussing whether I should make something an instrumental or not. And it's like whether that's worth it sometimes. It's a hard one to do, I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, I think so. I agree with you.
But yeah, that's a artistic, philosophical question that everyone has to answer for themselves. I can't really say what the right answer is there. But it was a nice vibe.
I think it's part of... Totally, I think that's part of the idea as well. To be lingering until the end, something like that. Well, so I have to go. Thank you so much for inviting me.
It's been a pleasure having you, Sunesis.
Thank you so much. I hope you have a nice end of the journey here.
Awesome. Thanks for coming. Yeah.
Thank you.
Good to meet you. All right,
Bye,
Natty.
everybody. Thank you.
All right, Natty, who's up next?
I'm going to switch over to the bigger one. We've got Smuk E12. I don't know. Tell us how you pronounce your name. Yeah, I saw him in the chat there. You haven't missed yours. You're next. And then we've got... after that, DJ Barrero, who I've also seen in the chat, says good. It's always nice if you actually are here for your tracks, because that means that we can engage in a conversation with you. Yeah, this one, the comment here is, does it sound too full, or do you think there are elements missing? It's not mastered by attempting to mix it volume-wise. I'm not sure if it's too imbalanced. Techno song may try new mix by Equus, aka Smut. foundation for a solid idea here. My mic is all the way down here. My microphone arm thing is kind of dodgy. But it's both too long and doesn't evolve enough for what it is so far. I don't know about you, Isha.
Oh yeah, I mean, like techno is something that I only now that I live in Europe and I kind of don't really have a lot of options. Am I sort of just like leaning into it and like I am enjoying it, in context especially, like going out and dancing to it is way more fun for me than just being at home. So this definitely has that club feeling and I appreciate it. But it's hard for me to comment on this stuff because in general I'm so like fidgety and I need like less repetition, which is kind of, I guess, why I've always gravitated towards like a lot of like glitchier styles and stuff. Although I am getting more and more appreciation for more repetitive stuff, but still has to have ear candy, still has to have evolution, still has to have progression, So, yeah.
It sounds counterintuitive as well, because everyone's like, 4 on the floor, everything's divided up in techno, but you are able to paint within the lines a bit, or between the lines anyway. It's like got this breakdown from here, 1:30 to whenever. Not only as I feel like it's at 8 or 12 bars too long kind of thing, but you can introduce your kick midway through, or 2/3 of the way through, like your bar pattern to upend the expectations, but because it's still the same sort of kick that you've already had, it doesn't ruin the groove because it's still just 4 on the floor. It's just you can build up the tension a bit more by just introducing it at a slightly different, less on bar point, and get away with it. I think, especially when you've already had a breakdown, you're coming down, and the whole point is to build that tension back up. Bacco here, it's saying about swapping drum elements and modulating out everything, and I think that's something else that is missing, that does need to be worked at, is just micro variations in your sound design. Like the kick with the sub quality to your kick, the boom, boom, boom. It shouldn't be the same intensity all the way through. It should move up in and out like you're breathing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, hammer
And
the
you
modulation.
can also play with
good
distortion
plan.
and saturation a bit too.
Yeah, you can do all kinds of evolving effects that are more subtle. It doesn't have to be like spastic or anything, It just has to happen, even over like longer. The mix was pretty good. I mean, it to me it kind of sounded a bit like I was in the club, like not necessarily like it in the best way, like kind of like just the thumpy sort of like boominess of a club system. So I think it could be a little cleaner, but then it also does give that effect. So I don't know. I would have to listen to it more, but I think it was like it was bumping, but it just still had that clubby boomy thing. So maybe it could be a little cleaner. I don't know. What do you think, Natty?
It's if I was playing on my soundbar, it would probably make my room resonate in a weird way. And that is something you want to avoid, especially since a lot of clubs just don't like having an actual good sound system in a club seems to be a rare thing. A lot of the time, especially here in the UK at least, it's always just we'll stick the speakers up wherever and hope for the best. And then they do other weird stuff like cranking them just beyond their actual operational capacity, so it sounds distorted and but it's like you definitely can't guarantee you will get the best. And you say just mix it for mono, but like most clubs aren't making it in mono; they are stereo. So making it mono compatible doesn't mean you're going to make it actually compatible with their system, because people are weird and build weird things. So, you thought, no, I have just a generic soundbar. It's a cheap 40 quid thing from PC World years ago. God, I'm not like I'm not into RGB craziness. Thanks. This is probably about the only thing in my room that is RGB. My keyboard. Next up, we have Brero with Medication. Their comments here primarily regarding the structure, if it happens too little in the track, or if it gets boring, but all feedback is appreciated. Let's go!
Wow, that that reminds me about this like phase in drum and bass when like people started making that kind of, what was it, like clowny, like it's just that groove. Like it was funny. I liked it for a bit, and then it seemed like it just kept going a little too long the same. Like it needed to do something else. But I would like, it would be a fun moment for a set for sure.
It's almost as well like it wants to be tracker music, like proper 8-bit stuff. But there's no playing about with the polyharmonics and weirdness that they had to use for 8-bit-ish music to get away with more melodies and interesting textures and stuff, you know?
XE Fusion is saying it's stuck in their head. Oh shit. Yes.
It's definitely memey, but it's so close to being really good memey.
Yeah, it needs like a stupider sample or something that comes in more like, yeah. But it's a party
There's
track
probably
for sure.
someone on YouTube who goes on a rant about either how good ducks are or how annoying they are.
I love ducks. What do you mean? Ducks are great.
There's bound to be someone on YouTube who hates them. And just has a rant, and you can see bits of the rant through it. Like...
All right, what's next?
Oh, I don't know. Well, Rag sent us a little sample. He said I don't know what he sent us, but it's apparently only a few seconds, so we'll play it. Some bullshit, okay? No idea what this is. He said apparently you went away and just did that while we were streaming.
Wow. Oh my
So,
god.
Go finish it. Go finish it.
Yeah. It's the vibe. Like, why not? No, not while we were streaming. Just had that. You just have it all up your sleeve, huh? I like it.
Well. Oh yeah, that's posted a year ago, so that makes. But make more of it.
Yeah.
Next up, we have
Keep-
Spatial Vibration. We got with Satan's Belly Whip. General feedback welcome, and any way to get a more crunchy vocal and keep clarity. First time doing my own vocals, so way!
Congratulations.
Now, time for the roast. Just kidding. We want you to keep doing more.
Destruction. We offer ourselves to the devil's seduction. We crave the taste of his forbidden fruit, and we sacrifice our souls without dispute.
have to say, Isha, isn't it just couple goals to have your other half just say, yes, fuck it, I'm gonna hop on your track with you?
Aw, that's really nice. I always wanted that. That's cute.
Someday,
Really cute.
someday. Because that is honestly a cool thing to have. Like, that's your wife? Yes.
Aw,
Collaborate with her more.
Your wife is awesome. And this is like, oh man, I love the theme of tonight. It's amazing. I feel like I'm on this badass night ride with Natty in like some kind of convertible with crazy lighting. Like, just like raging the town. Like raging the streets of, I don't know, 1980s Tokyo or something.
Yes, and we're on the run from the Yakuza, obviously.
Obviously.
I really like this track. It reminded me a bit of some other industrial acts like, what's their name? God, now I've forgotten it. There's a guy known that they're Aesthetic Perfection, his name is. He makes some stuff similar to this. But there's someone else I was thinking of, but my brain's forgotten the name. Anyway, I do listen to some of this sort of stuff, and that is really cool. I think that my only recommendation here is you can crank those vocals a bit more.
I agree with that.
Yeah, like I know it's meant to sort of sound almost lo-fi-ish, but it's kind of a weird contradiction, isn't it? Like it's
yeah.
It's hard to describe.
It's like lo-fi, but you gotta like clean out the resonances before you put the dirt back on it. You gotta get clean before you get dirty. That's what I always say. That's about it, though.
But yeah, a really nice vibe, and your lyrics were super aggressive and fun. So like, yeah, keep it up, do more. So this is your first vocal track. Let's do more, do more. We want to hear more. At least I do.
Do more.
Oh, this track doesn't work. I think must be a private track. Herb Derb, are you sitting in there in the chat there? Could you DM me on Discord a new link? I've seen Black at ATL on the chat. I think you're still here. So you're going to be next now since this one's broken. Sorry about that. Do you think this could be on the radio? Is a request for this track. Movies by Black. Yeah, I saw him he was talking a bit earlier because he asked us where our music was. Ah.
Nice.
So I guess he is in the chat there at least. I don't know. Let's go.
Oh my god, it's Prometheus Beats.
I can't show no love cause my heart is getting colder. Times is getting tough, gotta watch over your soda. On the fly private, I don't like layovers. Steady getting money so you know that I'm all in. Now we chain smoking and you know we playing closer. Life ain't black and white, you could color exodoza. Wrong false move and you know it's all over. Gambling with my life so you know that I'm all in. I'm counting up my blessings and I'm stacking up my dough. Living in Sin City and I pray I keep my soul. Another night of rain and I know I lost my mind. But all these hunters blue so I know I'm on my grind. And my life is like a movie, I'm chilling with some groupies. They offering some booty, yeah. Got a baddie with a two-piece, penthouse with a new lease, so we making movies, yeah. I can't show no love cause my heart is getting colder. Times is getting tough, gotta watch over your soda. On the fly private, I don't like layovers. Steady getting money so you know that I'm all in. Now we chain smoking and you know we playing closer. Life ain't black and white, you could color exodoza. Wrong false move and you know it's all over. Gambling with my life so you know that I'm all in. And my life is like a movie, I'm chilling with some groupies. They offering some booty, yeah. Got a baddie with a two-piece, penthouse with a new lease, and we making movies, yeah. Every day a party and it feel like striking gold. Till everybody leaves, then you find yourself alone. Lights, camera, action, baby, that's just how it goes. And then the credits play, everybody going home. I'm all in, like I've fallen, whoa, whoa. They calling, I'm ballin', ain't talking, no, no. I can't hands on the love, cause my heart is getting colder. Tongue is getting tough, gotta ride till you sold up. On the fly private, I don't like layovers. Steady getting money, so you know that I'm all in. Now we chain smoking, and you know we playing closer. Life ain't black and white, you could color Rex or Doza. Wrong false move, and you know it's all over. Gambling with my life, so you know that I'm all in. And my life is like a movie, I'm chilling with some groupies. They offering some booty, yeah. Got a baddie with a 2-piece, penthouse with a new lease, so we making movies, yeah.
So, did you feel like you were making movies there, Isha?
Kind of. I mean, I could see this definitely got some epic vibes to it. My one biggest comment overall, I think that this would be so much fire if you just shifted the whole vocal track later, just by like some milliseconds, you know? Because like sometimes it sounds like you're ahead of the beat, but like the whole take is. So I would do this a lot, you know, just sometimes move the take a little bit forward and then it'll sit in the pocket of the beat a little more because it just felt like your singing was rushing the rest of the track. And yeah, I think you could also like take a bit more risks, you know, like it's decent, but it's a little bit generic for me. Like it sounds a little bit like licensing trap, like which is what you know I do sometimes. I make like trap and R&B for licensing, and like for that it's good because they want something that is the standard, but you want to be something more. I think you want a little something signature, so find your little weird thing and put it in there, you know, and become signature instead of formula. So yeah, that's what I would say. What about you, Natty?
I think that the best place, if you want to keep the beat straightforward, would be to experiment more with your vocal processing. Like, you know, right now it's like the auto-tune kind of sound. It's like your vocal is already sort of in line, so it hasn't had to do much to really push push things around. But then that's the chance you have to then deliberately start morphing it into a little bit more weirdness. Like you can create more vocal harmonies on top of yourself using nothing but auto-tuned sub-layers. And I don't know, it's just like I think I agree that it doesn't take much risk, and it's always hard to say what those risks are, like, you know, that you need to take, because it depends on what you're already good at. But try one technique that you're not good at, like do something you know you're bad at, and see if you can make it work anyway. I think that's generally the best thing with the risks and targeted risks, because that's the stuff that'll make you stand out. Like if you can go from a position of sucking at something to being good at it just by practicing it and tweaking it and whatever, that tends to define, you know, be more about who you are as a musician than it is anything else.
Agreed. But yeah, like talent, you know, to be producing and doing vocals and doing it all. I respect that a lot, and I think you definitely are on your way to making something really good. You just got to keep finding your own thing.
And some good comments from Rags there as well in the chat. So thank you, Rags. Always a joy to have you in the chat with us. We will have to get you on camera again at some point.
Yeah, for sure. We would love to. I know the time zone doesn't really work for him, which is a shame because I love Rags on camera. If you haven't checked out Rags makes some funny videos and some good beats. And he's just an all-around, you know, multi-talent. So definitely want to post his socials in the chat too. All right, what's next? What's up?
Next we have Rusky.
Rusky, my boy. How you doing?
Obviously a whip stopped working on this like an hour ago. I thought I'd throw it in. Any advice on trying to maintain dynamics when adding heaps of distortion so that the waveform doesn't become too squished? Sussig. This is Whip by Rusky Slab. You have to come up with some names for your whips. it just suddenly stopped. Okay.
No. I think overall it just needs more detailing and mixing.
Yeah, it's almost like what you want is to be really precise with how you use distortion. Like, it's not just in one plane. You have to start considering it as something you can have scattered across your stereo space in order to make the space for everything else. And
Yeah.
using the harmonies and melodies, no, they're fine. It's just your use of distortion currently lacks depth. Like, it just feels like you're running it through one kind of bad distortion plugin. When
Right.
you want it to sound like it's running through something physical, like a proper amp. That's then being routed to something else. Like, that's like getting your stereo field and your speakers and everything. It all sounds like hard. Like, you want it to sound hardware. Well, right now it just sounds cheap.
Yeah. Basically.
So I don't know. Like, it's hard to say what the best approach there is. But then it's like, look at someone like Mick Gordon, who just screws around with different distortions and things and runs them through feedback loops until they sound cool. Like, that's the power of distortion. It's like, it's not just doing it through once and hoping it works. It's running it through multiple distortions or coming back round and feeding back in on itself and automating that so that it's like
Yeah.
I don't know, it just yeah, it's just have fun with it. Like, don't worry right now about is my mix sounding good and everything. Just have fun with your distortion and use that to guide everything else.
That's what I would say too.
Yeah. So, thank you for your submission, Rusky. It was a vibe in itself in any way. Next up, we have Finn Nora, who's been waiting for a while. Thank you so much for your patience. This track is called Open Up. They're saying this genre and singing overall is completely new territory for me. And is the second drop too messy? fairly fun. I mean, it's definitely a little bit unrefined, but it was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. It was definitely messy though, and I agree with Tree. The intro was a little bit too long, so I would clean it up and like really just tighten it up and make it like cleaner, and I think it would work better. But it's fun for sure. I agree with you.
I think a lot of it to tidy up is about unifying your sounds that are in each moment, so that they're more similar to each other, even if they're using different qualities of sound. You know, like they're different waveforms and whatnot. But you really have to go in on an envelope level and make it so that when you're doing a stabby moment, that all your sounds are kind of stabby. And when you want to do a sustained, all of them kind of need to be sustained to the same degree, so that they feel like one layer, even if they're different layers playing around.
Right.
And also it's like the things like the reverb and stuff. Like none of it sounded like it was in the same space. But with Complextro, the really hard thing about it is that everything has to sound like it's in unison. Like they have to sound like they're actually speaking the same language.
Exactly. Well said, my friend.
So.
All right. Good job, though. What's going on next?
Well, that was kind of the end of the queue because some people didn't appear.
Interesting. So we actually have. Where's what the guy from Discord? It starts with a J. He was asking about if there was room. Jinzu.
Jinzu. Who?
Right?
Did they?
Yes. See if they're around. Is there anything else that we wanted to play? Have you made anything new lately, Natty?
God, that's a good question. I also have been really slow in the DAW lately. Mainly because the software I normally use has decided to start not working with Windows 11. Aren't I lucky?
Well, no worries. I mean, if we get Jinzu in the next few seconds. Otherwise, I got some kind of homework to do as well. I wouldn't mind having an early night. I'm going to be doing a lot of crazy things. Going to be going to the UK soon to party with Tree at Noisily and play. I'm so excited. It's going to be a blast. So if you were thinking about going to Noisily, you should go. I'm really happy for that. There's a lot of good things going on right now. Hopefully see you soon, Natty. It's been too long.
Yeah. I'm definitely looking forward to summer because I plan on doing a lot of traveling.
Yeah, nice. Where are you gonna go?
Well, I've got my dad coming down mid-July, and he wants to just go around Scotland a bit, which is fine. Then the week after that, I'm off to Poland, Krakow and Katowice, and I'm off to watch Rammstein over there.
Yes, you are.
And then I'm coming back here to the UK. Maybe I don't know whether my youngest sibling, his 18th, is coming up in August, so I'm meant to be maybe going back to Orkney briefly for that. And then I've got to come see you. So I expect that'll likely be mid-August. I'll come drop by and see you.
Here, why don't we play one of my whips?
Yes.
Why don't we do that?
Link me.
It's not like I've made it a while ago, but basically for like 5 years or something. Wait, sorry, I just gave you a stupid link. Hold on, I need to give you the private link. Well, like I almost amateured you out there. No, it's I think okay, never mind. It was right. I just got thrown off by all the weird tags. But anyways, so this is over the last 5 years. I like slowly worked on this new project, this kind of dark pop sort of thing, and it's basically almost done, but the mixing isn't quite done. It's like 90% there, so I've been holding on to it. And I also want to make music videos for like all of the tracks, whether they're weird 3D graphics or some of them are actual videos.
Well, maybe when I'm there we can work together and I can help you plan it out a bit.
Oh, well, do you have M Cardona? Did you play them?
When did you submit? Because I don't see you in the queue. But
Well, you could play this, and then if we find theirs, we could
I will
play
look
theirs.
for it. Sorry.
So so this is basically from one of my new projects. I decided kind of from now on I'm just going to really have fun because now I'm doing sound design as a job. So the cool thing about that is that I can make music however I want, and not be tied to the tour circuit and not have to just play what's at the club or what, you know, what's needed. And for a long time, I actually felt like I was a little bit of a slave to that because it was my job, you know? So now I do like really cool design work and I have fun all day, and then I can just make music for pure joy. So yeah, so this isn't like the newest thing I've made, but it is something that I've been hiding. And
Well,
yeah,
I'm looking forward to hearing it. This is Landscape by ill-esha.
As Your Lips.
Won't you sit here just quiet with
Oh man, talk about vocal self-haters. I just, I just took 4 months away from all those mixes and now I'm like listening back to them like, oh God, I do the same thing as I just told Regs. And it's just a thing. Like, it's also like, even if you don't hate your own vocals, you know your own lyrics and you know your voice, so you just put it lower.
I
So
do the same.
that is why now, like, I used to mix and sometimes master everything, and I just tortured myself because, to be honest, the final mix down is not my favorite part. I love sound designing, I love composing, I love arranging, I love everything else. That I now realize that it's kind of like, how books have editors for me. I just need, like, when my ears are bleeding from hours and hours, and I know I'm going to be biased against my own vocals. I need somebody to just do like the last 5 to 10% and then get it mastered, and it's way better.
I
But
would definitely
yeah.
say this track in its current mix down state sounds like ear fatigue. Like, it sounds like you were ear fatigued when you got to this point.
Probably this is track 11 or something.
10. And it's just
10.
your bass is cranked ever so slightly too high compared to everything else.
Yeah,
Which
yeah,
is
I know
a
it. I
common
can
thing
hear
I've
it
known.
now.
Yeah, it's like common thing people do when they're tired ears. You stop hearing those things because it's just sort of, especially it's like it becomes the louder equals better phenomenon, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah, and
And I agree with the
also,
vocals.
yeah, no, it's so crazy. Everybody should just take 4 months away from their mixes. It's the best clarity I've ever had.
I think this is why a lot of pop albums, even now, are still like they will release one album every 2 or 3 years. Because a lot of it is
Yeah.
just going away and then coming back and saying, hey, this needs this extra little bit just to make it that 100%.
Oh, my ears are just like so fresh now, It's like, it's crazy. Well, I'll christen my new studio by finishing the mixes. But
Sounds like
yeah,
a good
thank you all
idea.
for listening. I've
It's
got
a
a lot
vibe.
of, thanks. Thanks. Yeah. So did we get one more track
We got
from?
one more track. This is from Donna, and this will close out for us for tonight. I'd say I don't know exactly when we'll be back next, but we'll work it out.
Yeah, we will.
Especially since apparently everyone likes doing things on Thursdays.
Well, let's do it. It'll be probably a month from now when I'm settled in. We'll do it from my house.
Yeah. So this is Paper Planes Bunt Donna remix. Who is Paper Planes? I don't know. Let's just see what happens. With our home insurance brand, you will know that all your possessions are protected forever. Climb the mountain with our insurance.
You want to be with your grandchildren, because you're worth it.
My first comment is get rid of that string staccato, it's like a staccato string thing, and it just does. Whereas I can never remember the difference between staccato and marcato. But anyway, it sounds bad. Just that string, it sounds bad.
Yeah, maybe just like find a better sample or something like this.
Now up to 40% off in all your favorite styles. Shop TK Maxx. This stream is not sponsored by TK Maxx.
It's so weird, it's TJ Maxx, in the US.
Oh yeah, they changed the name for some reason.
Maybe because J is like Y in like a lot of countries, would be like T Maxx. I don't know. Who knows? I've always wondered that though. Why is it TJ and TK? It seems, I don't know. Philosophical questions of life that we entertain. That needs a vocal. I can see what you were saying though, that there was one and you can't put it in there, so you're gonna add some different ones. So yeah, it is a little bit like happy and Hallmark. I think I don't know. I would like to see what the vocals you choose are. I think that will dictate
Linkin
a lot.
Park style vocals, obviously. Could you imagine?
Oh yes. Yeah. Well, that was fun. I hope everybody has an amazing weekend. This is the crazy thing in Denmark. We've had 4 long weekends since the 1st of May.
What?
And we're about to have another one.
Why?
Denmark, May 5th was actually something they're getting rid of next year because they have so many holidays, called Great Prayer Day. Then May 18th was some kind of religious thing, so then they give people May 19th off, and then the 20th and the 21st are a weekend. So that was like a 4-day weekend. And then just now, Monday was a holiday in Germany and Denmark. And then next Monday is the Danish Constitution Day.
Too many holidays.
Yeah, it's just every week is like a 3-day week right now. It's very But you know what? I also like it's fun. The funny thing is I actually really love my job, so I'm kind of like, oh no, I want to keep working on the cool stuff that I'm doing.
Your colleagues are like, why are you a workaholic, Isha? Why are you workaholic?
Well, no, I mean, I gotta say, I took advantage. So I went to May 5th. I didn't do anything because I didn't even realize there was that many holidays. So I just kind of chilled out. May 14th, I went to Helsinki and I watched Eurovision in a gay bar with my friend, and it was super super fun. May 18th, I went to Copenhagen, and then last week I was in Berlin for 6 days, and then I'm going to Hamburg on Saturday. So I'm making the best of my long weekends for sure.
Definitely, sounds like it.
Well, I hope that you come to travel to visit me, and we do Feedback and Friends in person. We always love doing that. Big shouts out to everybody tonight: Spatial Vibration, Disketo, Rags, Chris, all the chat people. Tree, it's so great to have you. Cannot wait to see you at Noisily. I'm so excited. I have played in the UK before, but not at festivals, and I love festivals. They're like my favorite thing ever.
Tree,
So
if you want to come on as a feedback guest in a future stream, let us know.
we love you, Tree, and XE Fusion, everybody who was here. We really love you.
Love you all. I can't do
Yeah,
hearts.
and you know what time it is, Natty.
Oh yes, it's the best time.
All
This is
right.
Feedback and Friends signing off, and
Good night.